Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Mading Ngor. Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Mading Ngor. This week on Fixing South Sudan, the National Communication Authority, the regulatory body in charge of the communication and telecom sector, holds the first town hall engagement for the people and the mobile telecom operators, Zain and MTN, to dialogue about emerging issues in the telecom industry. How good is the quality of the network calls in the Republic of South Sudan? How much does it cost to make a call within a network, on net, and across the network, off net? And is that about to change, and why? How can mobile network operators, MNOs, remain financially viable while offering better quality services to subscribers? And what are the operational challenges facing the NCA in the discharge of its mandate? And how can NCA position itself as the #1 generator of non-oil revenues for the government? Our studio audience will be given ample opportunities to share their views and questions later in the program in this 2-hour interactive session. The audience have agreed to keep their reactions to a minimum during the recording, except now to clap and welcome themselves and the distinguished panelists to the show. Joining us in our special telecom town hall dialogue are Honorable Napoleon Adok Gai, the incoming Director General, National Communication Authority. Please welcome. Mr. Gordian Kyomukama, Chief Executive Officer, MTN South Sudan. Welcome to the program. Mr. Wilson Lado, Technology Director and Representative of the CEO of Zane South Sudan. Welcome to the program. We begin with the principal institution behind this town hall initiative, but first I would like to welcome the DG, Honorable Napoleon Adok, to lead us in remembrance of our departed colleagues in the Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services.
Morning, everyone. I would like to, before we begin, I would like to start by observing a 1-minute silence for our colleagues who departed, 2 gentlemen who have built the foundation of telecom in our republic. Honorable Mark Mayol, who passed on 2 days ago in London, in Bradford in UK. Honorable Paul Jacob, who also passed on in Khartoum. Body arrived yesterday, and I think today or tomorrow will be taken. So let's observe 1-minute silence before we begin.
And lastly is Ms. Buthiana Mohammed Salah, who is Arabic news anchor.
Arabic.
Thank you very much. Now let's the show begin. Honorable Napoleon, I'm going to start with you. There's a lot that is not known about your institution, and yet its works affects us all. Give us an overview of the mandate of NCA and why we are holding this town hall. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mading. Welcome again, everyone. I think to begin with, generally, the global understanding today is that telecommunication has become the main backbones, not only of economic growth, but also societal networking and connectivity. If I will request you, I speak better if I remove this. Sorry. So, to begin with, the telecom and communication in general has emerged as the greatest backbone today in the world. It is fostering relations, building communities, and creating network and creating opportunities for employment for a number of young people. As a new member state in the telecom world, South Sudan, of course, did not start telecom today. It has been part of the Sudan, and as such, when we got independent, many of the telephone companies that you see today in South Sudan were initially part of the Sudan. They established and continue the practice in what has become South Sudan today. And as that, the government of South Sudan, when it is enacting new laws, one among these laws is the law to regulate and promote communications. The National Communication Authority was established by Act of Parliament back in 2012, but it actually became operational in 2014. Honorable Minister, then we are lucky today to have her, Honorable Rebecca, was actually the first minister to operationalize the National Communication Authority. Therefore, employing my predecessor, Dr. Lado, as the first Director General. We are all aware that our country is at the crossroad of competing opportunities and priorities. So telecommunication, for some reason, hasn't been really featuring very much, except when we complain why it is not working well. But nobody actually took time to find out what are the challenges, how do these people do their business, what are our rights as consumers in the country and across how we travel, and how does this actually affect even the performance of government and outreach. So the NCA established by Act of Parliament primarily to promote and regulate telecommunication sector and ICT, and it does that by ensuring that services, telecommunication services are accessible, they remain affordable while maintaining quality. That's for, in a short, this is the background of the National Communication Authority.
This juncture? What would you say at this juncture, as we are holding this town hall, what are the emerging issues that your institutions is looking at in conjunction with the MNOs, the mobile network operators?
First and foremost, what we wanted to achieve by this town hall is to create visibility. What has happened is that the telecom sector has been behind the scenes. We wanted to create visibility to bridge the gap between the consumer and the service provider. As a regulator, I would like to play a bridging role between the consumer and the service provider. This is key. Why? Because a lot of people sometimes have issues of concern and objection, but have nowhere to repair their concern to, because the line is blurred between the regulator and the operator. So for example, if you have issues of your telephone or your airtime disappearing, who do you call? The first line for this report, it goes to the operators. And if the operator don't respond, who else do you go to? You should be able to reach the regulator, because the regulator is supposed to provide arbitration between the consumer and the service provider. That, among other things, the quality of service that these people are offering is based on a benchmark which has been agreed on the license given to them. So that's why the only person or the only institution in the country which is supposed to hold these people account is the National Communication Authority. But also the only institution that's supposed to clarify issues that are affecting the operators is the National Communication Authority. So Mading, my objective is to create this dialogue, to bring awareness to consumers, as well as make ourselves available for questioning.
Can you tell me about two dwelling issues, the quality of service as well as the cost of the service? The consumers are saying we are paying too much and getting too little. The network is very poor. You can barely communicate. What's your take on that?
Mading, what I would like to underline is that telecommunication is a consumer product just like anything else in the market. If you go to the shop and ask for a kilo of sugar and you get maybe less than a kilo, I'm sure you will walk back to that shop and inquire, why are you giving me less for my money? So the same thing in telecom. So telecom services are affected by the prevailing economic situation. We have seen that the prices of goods are going up because of the scarcity of hard currency. So also the same thing, the telecom providers source support and resources and for their services using hard currency. They're also affected by the exchange rates because they have not been given access to hard currency to purchase goods that are coming from abroad. There are also issues that are imported, and that has actually affected so much their performance. We will hear from them directly. It's good. We are all in the hall. I don't want to speak for them. So
and thank you very much. That's a good segue into bringing in the operators themselves. Let me invite the CEO of MTN, Mr. Gordian Kyomukama, to speak about the challenges facing MTN in South Sudan. What are the challenges of investing in South Sudan? Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Yeah, well, I think the Director General already mentioned the issue of the hard currency. We definitely get affected because to invest into a network, to build a network, to provide the quality that we need into the network, we have got to bring in equipment, which equipment is not manufactured here, which is we have to import it. And to import it, we pay in hard currency. And the microeconomic situation that you see prevailing in the country also doesn't spare us. So equally, and the issue, I think the DG also put it out very well, that we do not purchase dollars from the central bank. We purchase dollars from the commercial banks, which commercial bank rates are actually pegged to the market. And the official rate and the parallel rate through which we source our dollars is almost double. And when we do that, all that, the difference between the official rate and the actual amount, the rate at which we buy the dollars to in turn to pay our vendors who sell us the equipment, all that is actually a financial loss to us.
So there are challenges.
Yes, so there are challenges. Of course, as we go further into the discussion, there are also some other challenges which I think the community can actually also help us on. And
yeah, let me ask you, where is the balance between offering quality service and also being able to remain viable? Because the discontent from the consumers is that the quality of the network is poor, and as far as you are concerned, you also don't want to invest enough and also collapse in the process. Where is the balance?
Well, I think the balance really, first of all, we come a long way, I think, in terms of the quality of service. I think earlier in the year, there was a time you wouldn't even make a call during the evening peak and even during the lunchtime peak. I think we have come a long way. And we are doing all our best to make sure that we still keep the quality to the promises that we make and to what the customers deserve. But also, I think there are so many other challenges that affect the quality. For example, I'll tell you one example. Juba is a vibrant city, and development, infrastructure development is going on. In buildings coming up every day. But then you'll find that now a site that we built here some time back cannot reach the population that it was meant to cover because a new building has come up. That means now the investment we put into there is a loss. We have to now look for another site to still be able to address and cover the population that we had before. I mean, that was targeted by the old site. And now, again, when it comes to looking for sites within South Sudan, I mean within Juba itself, you will find that many landlords these days will not allow you to actually host a site that you want to bring up and give that capacity and give that quality of service that you did. So there's a whole situation that compounds our delivery of quality, starting from the hard currency, also some of the issues that we can address, and I think maybe during the discussions and the exchanges, we will see how the community also can help us on some of those things. Yeah.
And let me bring in Mr. Wilson Lado, who is from Zain, and he can tell us what are the challenges facing Zane as far as the investment is concerned. There are a lot of issues that are being raised by consumers, that the network is poor, and the tariffs are high. What's your take?
Thank you very much for this opportunity, moderator. And I also welcome my panelists here, the DG and Gordio from MTN, and you, the audience. It's really a good time that we have come to discuss issues which is really so important to each and every one of us. It has become a life for each and every one of us. Coming again to the question by the moderator, in fact, we as Zain, we offer services. We offer services, whether voice and data, we give technology. And this is the most important thing, that we offer services. And these services that we offer is at a cost. Just as if you go to the market and buy a can of milk, you buy that one, it's a cost. So we as an operator and providing these services, we're also affected by the exchange rate, by the fluctuation of the hard currency that we have in our country. And as such, because basically what we have, the telecom is considered to be, it has a standard which is telecom grade. Wherever you buy these equipments and the services from these vendors, whether it is Ericsson, Huawei, ZTE, Huawei, Alcatel, name it, you buy it at a cost, and this cost is a standard all over the world. So we are affected with the rate that we have seen in the market. Yes, we as operators, and the DG has mentioned, we are getting the dollars from the commercial bank. We don't have access to the dollars from central bank. We have many issues that we need to have. Other than the equipments, we have lease lines, capacities that to backhaul sites, because in South Sudan, we know very well that we don't have fiber, we don't have microwave everywhere in South Sudan. So there are some sites remote, like in Nasir, like areas far away, like Ayot. We need to bring these sites using a VSAT. And as such, we are going to pay to the satellite providers in hard currency, number one. And we are doing that because we need to give services to our people. Not only that, whatever we need to get, even the fuel that now we're buying for our sites. Today, if you go to the petrol station and you ask for a liter of fuel, you will get it going. As long as the dollar goes, it goes up. And as such, we're also affected because we have sites, and these generators are working 24 hours so that we give you services. So it has a cost, and the cost is huge. That's why the challenges are there. But despite all this, we as Zane, we've been working very hard, and even the people can even testify that we have improved. Regardless of all difficulties, we injected money from what we have so that we improve our network, and especially in Juba, Now you can make a call like this without difficulties, and you can browse, even having streaming better than other countries in East Africa and over some countries in the world.
What would you say is the position of Zain as far as financial viability is concerned? Are you making profit or operating at a loss? And that would be the same question to MTN later.
Basically, thank you, moderator, for the question. The question is so good. Actually, we are here just trying to break even. We're not making money, we're breaking even so that at least we can maintain giving services. And this is what we are doing. The stakeholders, Kuwait government and Sultanate of Oman, these are two stakeholders, companies providing the working with Zain, and they are supporting Zain. They have in their mind that we need to support the country. So whatever we get, we inject it back, and I can just say figures for the sake of knowing. We have spent from last year to this year not less than $11 million. Why? Because we need to improve. We put more sites. So we're not making money, but we have a promise. We're looking forward. There's a potential in the nation. It's a young nation. We have a good number of young people, subscribers. So the potential is there, and we're waiting. Things will change to better, and we'll make money. That's business.
And would you say that your subscribers are contented with the services you are offering, or there are some complaints?
Actually, thank you very much. You cannot say you are giving 100%. Definitely, when in this world of technology, whatever you give will not be enough. They're hungry for more data. They're hungry for more services. And we are going together. We are running together with the subscribers. I'm quite sure if you ask people here in Juba, 1 month back, 2 months back, and today, they will testify that there's improvement. We have done great improvement. Yes, there are some places it's still yet we need to reach with 3G services in the northern part of the nation, Greater Bahr Ghazal, and we are promising them, and we have already reached in areas in Wau, and we're going to Awil in Kwajok. We will go to Bantu to ensure that we give services. Yes, in Juba it is easier because now we have the fiber is landed in Juba, and then you have a big capacity of microwave capacities, resources where you can be able to give better services. When you go outside, you need to build trunk, you need to have more capacity on the visa so that you can backhaul the sites and provide better services.
Thank you very much, and let me take it back to the National Communication Authority. I'll come back to you, sir, and talk about the plans, the immediate plans that you have in place. When we talk about consumer protection or a complaint board, is it something you are thinking about? What are the tools that you need to be able to discharge your mandate effectively?
Thank you, Mading. As a regulator, we play two roles. One, we agree with the licensee, the standards, the quality of standard that need to be made and kept. And we institute a monitoring mechanism to watch that these standards are maintained. Now, when the regulator was established, a capital investment was not done on the necessary tool to regulate and effectively police the quality of service. Today, we basically respond to public outcry, and that's what necessitated this meeting, so that while we are waiting to purchase the necessary tool, known in technical terms as revenue assurance system, so that we can know that when we agree on a price of a minute or a second, that all calls are being done within that, not more. So when you buy airtime for 1,000 pound, so that airtime 1,000 pound could be equivalent to maybe 10 minutes, and it must be exactly 10 minutes. If it goes below that, if your 1,000 finish before you reach 10 minutes, that means the quality of service and agreed tariff rates has been violated. We can only take action, we can penalize them, but we cannot do that now. We don't have that capabilities.
As a matter of clarity, you are not in control of what they are doing. The calls going outside and coming in, and there are no benchmarks set for network quality. As we speak, the NCA doesn't have that capacity.
I cannot say we are not in control because we do release to them frequencies. Radio frequencies are a resource. They are a depletable resource of the country, and that's where we police them. So only that we don't have all the necessary tools covering all the spectrums of monitoring and regulations right now. And we are in the process to acquire this equipment and soon we shall be able to come back to them with the specific statistics. One of the steps we want to do, actually we are in the process to establish a complaint line and a complaint department so that public can call us and register their complaint. So in that process, we are going to introduce a toll-free number so that when you have a problem with one of these networks, you dial that number and you should be able to deposit your complaint and it will be recorded. So this is some of the steps we are taking in order to address this current issue until we have all the technology available to enforce regulatory standards.
So you are going to acquire the necessary tools. Are you getting that support, or you are hoping to acquire the support, to get the support?
The government has made pledge to purchase some of these tools, and we look forward that the financial situation improve, we should be able to get those tools by the first quarter of next year.
The National Communication Authority is supposed to be governed by a board of directors, and if there is any decision about tariff adjustment, it is usually made by the board. What do you do in the absence of a functional board, as I understand it?
The law stipulates that in the absence of the board, the minister preside, the competent minister preside. The formulation of tariff is a participatory activity. We have done it together with operators. They make submission, and we align ourselves with the economic situation of the country in order to come up with the tariff that is, does not break the consumer's ability to purchase, and also does not break the business plan of the operators to remain sustainable.
This is Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Mading Ngor, and with us in the panel, the special Telecom Town Hall dialogue, Honorable Napoleon Adok Gai, the incoming Director General, National Communication Authority, Mr. Gordian Kyomukama, Chief Executive Officer, MTN South Sudan, Mr. Wilson Lado, Technology Director and representative of CEO of Zain, South Sudan. And it's a good opportunity to take it to the audience. We will come again for another session. And from here, we are going to begin with some contributors in front. So if I see some hands, then I'm going to give that opportunity. Remember, we have a lot of time. So let me begin right there, Rajab Mohandis.
Thank you, the panelists and the organizers. I want to start from a positive note that by end of 2018 and beginning of 2019, the services, the communication services, particularly the telephone lines, were terrible. And we actually reached out to the minister, and the minister referred us to NCA. And to your credit, NCA had discussions with the companies, and we can say now that the services are very much okay in terms of calls and also in terms of the internet. Previously, you would call for several times, even up to 10 times before connecting. This has changed, and we give you credit and appreciate this development. Now, we have few concerns as a user of these services. I use both MTN and Zain. One concern we have is that when we subscribe, for example, for internet, and this internet finishes, we expect either to subscribe again or to be asked if we want to subscribe again. That usually doesn't happen. If you have 5,000 on the phone, the company takes all this money and runs it on internet even when you are not accessing. Sometimes you sleep. By the time you wake up, your bundles are all gone, but that's not all. The money that you have in the phone is also all gone. If I go to MTN office or Zain office and take only £2 I will be called a thief. If my 5,000 is taken without my permission, I think that is a problem. Now, the purpose we attend these meetings is to see that we improve on these services. And I want to bring this to the attention of the National Communications Authority, just like you did the other day when we petitioned your office. Would like you to address this issue. Money on our phones should not be taken unless we consent to it. The second concern is about the quality of services outside Juba. We've just had the fiber cables, but even before that, the services here were a little better than what we have in the States. When you go to some of the states, you can't access easily. So I think it's good to look into that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dolku Media, for facilitating this program. My name is Emmanuel Munchol. I'm the Managing Director of the Dawn newspaper. Usually, I would like to direct my question to telecom operators. Sometimes when you overcharge customers, it's either you are being overtaxed and you want to transfer that burden to the customers, or you are just way out cheating people. So what is the problem that you are overcharging customers? Is it because you are being overtaxed? And if so, can you let the public know?
Thank you very much. Did you introduce yourself? Okay.
Thank you, moderator. I thank the panel for this timely conversation and dialogue. My name is Agok, a South Sudanese. I want to start by saying that telecommunication has become, particularly in the lights of advancing technology, telecommunication has become very important, and that I would say, particularly the use of internet, it has become more of a basic necessity alongside food and water. And so, as South Sudanese, I know with all the challenges that you have, we still appeal that the internet service ought to be improved. It really trickles down to everything, to the economy and everything. The other thing is the question that I would ask, and it's on the corporate social responsibility. I've observed there are so many towers, the mobile towers at the residential areas, and those have effect in terms of radiation, and that could have a long-term health effect on the residents. So my question is, as the operators and as the governing authority, what are we doing in order to give back to the communities or to the residents that are being affected by the mobile towers? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe it's a time for one of the experts to weigh in. Maybe I'll give a chance to the Honorable Minister, Rebecca Joshua Kwashi, to clarify some of the things and also to give context to the issues in discussion. And then we will come back to the panel so that they answer the questions. We will take two here so that they don't think that it's about where my eyes are going. Welcome, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. I don't want to be named because I don't want to overshadow people. I'm just an ordinary citizen, and I wanted to be part of this conversation to refresh and also to learn more, because a lot has happened in that area while I was doing other things. But let me appreciate the idea of the town hall, and the NCA congratulate my brother Napoleon for the new position. He's able, and I know, plus the operators and Dolku Media, plus our citizens here. It's very impressive to have this town hall, because I think the core thing that has come out from the panelists is the issue of awareness creation and education. when we live in an environment where we don't know what's happening, then it's a big challenge. That's why we complain and we grumble and we also accuse one another. And then at the end of the day, those who are doing the service will not feel happy. It's normal at home when you say you are not doing and you are doing. So I think this is a very good objective for this particular thing. Let me start with the operators. I think you're trying your very best and it's coming out, emerging that the operators are trying their very best and the challenges are very clear. We don't have to be told about the economic situation in our country, and therefore it affects the operators because they have to buy the equipment. As they say, it's very expensive. You have to use dollars. You have to bring them from outside. You also need to expand because part of their mandate is expansion also. But expansion requires that. Putting also at the backdrop the political environment in our situation, I think some of these stations and services that have been mentioned earlier by the NCA, that we had these communications from a long time ago, but they keep on disappearing because of the conflict in our rural areas. So awareness creation is very important, but also let me just stress the point of the cooperation. And that again will take away the issue of competition and feeling that I'm being blamed for not doing. I think as a government, we are also obliged to create an environment for investment by the operators. And therefore, once we have a challenge on our side, we need to work hard to give them that environment to operate so that they don't squander what they have already put on the ground. At the same time, the public look at the operators and those centers of complaint and quick response to our complaints, even if you are not doing much to us, but you can answer us. I think that's what the public would want to know. My money has been eaten, my network is not working, my phone, something happened to it. I think this one also from the side of the operators is very important. And at the end of the day, I know the operators want to make money. I don't think they are here just to give service, but they want to make money, and I'm sure that's also happening within them, that they don't have to be pleasing us, but they have to make money, and therefore they look forward for a better environment for them to invest, give quality service, and then at the end of the day get some money to go away with. But finally, I know I'm taking your time, I come back to the regulator and say, so far you are doing very well, and I want to appreciate the idea of the tool that Mr. Napoleon is talking about, Engineer Napoleon. That was missing, and I remember during our time, we would sometimes want to know how much has gone into what people pay. And we had long issues with the public and with as parliament. And sometimes we had to bring an outside expert to come and help us calculate how much has been spent. So I just want to end on this good note that the idea of having a tool to monitor is very important. At the end of the day, we'll spread the papers in front of us, and we don't have to bicker among ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have heard questions for the operators and for the NCA, and the issue of access to information to subscribers has been highlighted. We are going to take two more before we bring it. And the question is, and I'm emphasizing, what are you doing to reach out to the consumers? Are you issuing out leaflets, radio, TV programs, hotlines, and what have you? I will take two here before we come back to the panel. One at the very back, in the yellow, has been putting his hand up.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm called Farouk Ismail Ukaj. First of all, let me congratulate Honorable Napoleon for the position well deserved. My issue is I came here with a very heavy heart if it comes to telecommunication. My colleague Rajab wanted to mention that it amounts to theft when you enter into my account and eat whatever I had without seeking my consent. That's why he gave an example that when he goes to Zain or MTN and take £2, he can be called a thief. My major issue is with MTN, we are not here to maybe sugarcoat some things. Sometimes we have not talked for even a minute and the call is interrupted and you charge me a cost for 1 minute. If you do that to like 4 million citizens, I don't know how much you're going to walk away with. So this is a major concern from my village in Munuki, where I'm coming from. Secondly, we are talking about making profit vis-a-vis the exchange rate. But let's not mix issues, Moderator Mading. Let's talk about the quality and then talk about the inflation and whatever exchange rate that we shall talk later. The quality, South Sudan is not any exception from any East African countries. Whatever we access with MTN in Uganda and other countries, we expect to have the same quality in South Sudan. We are 15 or so years old. We are not babies. And I think Honorable Napoleon knows that if it comes to ICT, that we really have to be fair in giving services.
Your point is made. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. And again, at the very back is a nation of marginalization, so you always have to start with the back.
Thank you so much, moderator. Kolamiko. I really congratulate Napoleon for the initiative. Actually, my concern is almost to the point of Rajab Mohandis. You know, there used to be service offers to customers and consumers. For example, there was what we call Pakalas. In Uganda, there was a Warit call that really offers you to talk from the same line at some given hours. These services are not appearing in our country, and I really don't know why, or whether we are really different from the rest that receive these services or not. I would want to know later. Second concern is the interrelation on the calls from network to other network. You know, in South Sudan, there are areas that have network of a specific type and others are not there. So when you try to call your relative or any dear one there, you could hardly reach. And this thing has to be considered by the telecommunication companies. This is the concern I want to bring forward.
Thank you very much. We have almost exhausted the first hour. The second hour is still there, so we have a bit of time. Let's take it back to the panel, and I'm going to begin with Honorable Napoleon Adok to answer the issues that have been raised about NCA, and then we are going to take it to the MNOs.
Thank you, Mading. I would like to go back to the question of Rajab. From a regulator point of view, that is illegal. It is very clear that we ask subscribers to subscribe to a particular service on a network, and that is deducted. What you narrated actually used to happen, I think, 2 years back, and it was very clear. My colleagues are here from the regulator who has been there, and we made it clear that no more data will be taken from involuntary airtime of the subscriber. You buy and you consume. When it's finished, you have no connection until you subscribe, even if you have £1 million on your phone. If that has been happening, I think I will also be happy to hear about it from them. And those are part of the issues that I said, if we had the monitoring capabilities, these are part of the quality of service we could have ensured. But sadly, we didn't have the tool. It's never too late. We are aiming really that we will have that in place, particularly now that the internet connectivity is going to improve. The arrival of fiber optic create a great opportunity as well as even risk for us. So we are addressing that issue. Coming to the issue of someone raised the issue of corporate responsibilities and the issue of towers. The towers are installed in a land property of individuals. So it's between the contractor, the owner of the land, and the company installing towers. But what we do as regulators, every equipment that has been installed in South Sudan has passed through type and approval. The type and approval is where the standards are checked that the radiation or the signal level is within the minimum internationally accepted health. Because all these equipment, before they even arrive South Sudan, they are passed through a test and approved standard. It is that approved standard that the regulator come and impose. So if somebody is smuggling some equipment that are not made the standard, that is the reason why sometimes we impounded some of these equipment, and particularly the people covered by immunities usually break this law. They smuggle things in through our borders and say, no, it's for a big international body, we are diplomatic, and they install them. Those are the ones we are worried about. But the one that we are able to issue a certificate of conformity, we are confident, and that is the reason why we are here, to ensure that our public, while consume this technology, are protected and safe from this radiation, if there is any. I think I don't want to take all the time, so give to
Okay, let's answer the questions that have been raised, and then we are going to take a tea break, and then we'll come back for the second hour.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Yeah, about the question on the depletion of airtime. Well, the issue is that whenever we have received these things, there can be all sorts of reasons behind that. Many times, of course, you find the smartphones. Smartphones have got applications that are running so much in the background and also depleting the data. But we also have seen some of the complaints coming through the NCA and also coming through our own customer care line. And we analyze them, and we try to give the best explanation behind those things. So many times these things are tackled on an individual basis, because each individual circumstances you will find is very different from the other. But nonetheless, we also have looked at all the equipment, the new equipment that is out there available, other than what we have installed, again, to protect the customers' airtime and bundles better. There are some new versions of equipment that have come in, and I think we discussed it also with the NCA not too long ago. And we believe that we should be having now even better equipment to make sure that your airtime is protected even better. But in analysis, really, every individual case has to be analyzed on its own merits and looking at the circumstances. So there can't be, there is no general strategy of MTN, and I don't believe Zain has that strategy to go and steal money from your wallet without giving you any services. But we continue to handle the complaints as they come. Some of them I've explained, but then we are also enhancing and getting better equipment to also make sure we are able to protect the customer even further. Now, there was also the question of overcharging. I think the overcharging is not just only the tax element that influences the tariff, but there is the cost of doing business in the country. And again, also what we highlighted, bringing in the equipment and all that. All these things we do is what we calculate to come up with the tariff, and then when the tariff, we come up with the tariff, then that's the tariff then we have to discuss with the regulator to see whether it is actually a tariff that is justified. To tell you the truth is that MTN, we have not paid any shareholder any money as dividends, ever, yeah? Because whatever we get, at some point actually, we were even getting money coming in from our sister companies to actually support us. So since last year, that is kind of easing out. But in terms of profitability, we have not posted any profits in a long time. So whatever we do here, we are injecting it back into the network, investing into the network, and all these things that we do is that we share in the optimism of the prospects of South Sudan. We may not be making profits now, but we believe in South Sudan and the potential that there is in South Sudan. So when we do that, even if we are not giving the profits, but there is that optimism that we hold, and it's the optimism that continues to keep us going. And so that is on the issue of the overcharge. I think the comment on the telecommunications being a basic right now, I think some people have called it a human right, yeah? Well, I concur with you. And in fact, it is MTN's core belief that everyone deserves the benefits of a modern connected life. And that is the belief that drives all our investments, and that is the belief that all our people share. Whenever we are giving services, we believe we have a role to play in making sure that everyone gets the benefits of that connected life. And we continue to do that investment guided by that belief. And I think, as acknowledged also earlier, is that we have had, of course, we come a long way in terms of the quality of service. We have been improving compared to January, where we are now, there is improvement. And the same belief that we have is the same belief that is now making us make strides in investing even in 4G. I think by the end of this month, most of you who already have, if you switch on your 4G, you most likely will see a 4G signal already displaying on your phone. It's that belief that is still driving us to make sure there is no technology that is too distant for South Sudan. So we continue to that. I think, let me not take all the questions. I think my colleague will.
You have, Mr. Gordian, acknowledged the complaint coming from the subscribers, and are you apologetic about some of these complaints as MTN and on behalf of your network?
Well, I mean, myself, I'm measured against the feedback that we get from the customer. We are not, when my shareholders, they will not judge my performance simply because of the financials that I post and all that. It is an important matrix in our performance to measure the customer satisfaction. There is, of course, you may never get 100%, but there is also a minimum, there's a threshold against which I'm measured. So, of course, when the customers complain, it's something that I don't want them to even get to. Many times, again, with the assistance of tools that we also on our side are trying to get on board, we should be able to even be proactive in knowing that so-and-so has the problem before he even complains.
But the best apology is to improve the network, and you are committed to improving the network.
We are committed to improving the network all the time.
Thank you.
And we are not going to run away at all.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And let me hear briefly from Mr. Wilson Lado of Zane. Answer some of the questions.
Thank you very much, moderator. Once again, I really appreciate questions from Roger Mohandis. Thank you very much. He's always there to ensure that better services are given to the people of this nation. I appreciate. From Emmanuel, from Down, Agok, Madam Rebecca, Joshua, thank you very much for your question, and Amigo, and also Farouk. Basically, I just want to re-echo what they said. They say the positive part, because basically, when there's something, when you have a cup, and there's half of it is water, and half of it is without water, and you appreciate that there's water, it's always good. We have to look positive. And thank you very much for this part. We as operators, and me as Zain, we have done it. We have done a lot, we've improved, and as I said, we're still continuing doing it. because we are part and partial of this society. We have come with this investment millions of dollars. We're not going to take it from here. They're going to remain for this country, for our South Sudan. And definitely, as some of the questions came of whether we are overcharging you or there's a kind of theft, actually we have that mutual understanding with each other. We are together. Without customers, I cannot be there. So therefore, that relationship is always there. That's why we have our call center working. We are trying to make it 24 hours if situation of movement at night is okay. And this basically because we need to improve more. And we need to listen to your voice. And we need to address your issues. And as you're using my bundle, you can get a message that comes to you whenever your data is almost you're consuming your data. And I have my sales, my marketing senior managers here can confirm that later on. But as Zain, we need to ensure that we give you better services. Coming to some of the responsibilities that we did mention, and CSR regarding with the towers, the impact of the towers into the human beings, we are all aware, as DG mentioned, all our equipments are FCC standard, which is Federation Communication Commission. This is a body that certifies each and every equipment when you bring it to the nation. And definitely, we will not be able to harm our people. We want to ensure that our people are healthy and we give them services, because without them, we will not be there. So the challenges are there. There's a question came up that in some regions outside, in the States, the services are not like Juba. I do mention, and I do agree with you, because basically, as I said, in Juba, you have fiber already landed in Juba. Outside Juba, now as Zain, we're working to restore the trunk that's going through Mundre, and this trunk has been affected due to the conflict which came to our country, and we do believe that we'll overcome that conflict and we'll go ahead, we'll move further. So we are bringing back those regions, those states in the northern part to give more services. And I'm quite sure, because we treat people the same, whether you are in Bantu, whether you are in Wau, whether you're in Yambio, in Rumbek and Torit, you are my customer. I need to give you services. Time will come when all the technologies, not only 2G, you'll have 3G and 4G in these areas. The challenges are more in our country, but we do believe that we're working very hard with our government, with the DG, with everywhere, every person here, that let's move forward and do better and improve.
Thank you very much, and that brings us to the end of the first part of the debate. And with us in the special Telecom Town Hall have been Honorable Napoleon Adok Gai, the Director General, National Communication Authority, Mr. Gordian Kyomukama, Chief Executive Officer, MTN South Sudan, Mr. Wilson Lado, Technology Director and Representative of CEO of Zain, South Sudan. We will take a break and then we'll come back for the second half. Let's make it 10 minutes. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Mading Ngor.